It's kind of fun. If I wanted anybody to inject my ears with noise, it would be
That's
Dusty.
the guy. That's the guy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chewed Up and Spit Out. As always, I'm just Dusty.
And I'm still Jeff.
And over here we have
A guest star known as Jonzo.
Jonzo, the man, the myth, and that's about it. Yeah.
Almost a legend. He's
Almost
there.
a legend.
Almost a legend.
Working on legendary status.
Jonzo
All right.
Deshane, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jonzo Deshane.
Hell yeah. Gotta love the gunslinger shout out.
Hells yeah. You know, one of the best stories ever written by a human mortal being, I believe, is
I
The
wouldn't
Dark Tower.
go that far. I don't know that Stephen King's mortal. That still hasn't been found out yet.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not call the guy mortal yet. For all we know, he's had 1,000 years to work on this.
Yeah, no shit, huh? I mean,
Actually, does that take anything away from the story if you were to find out, like, no, he's been immortal. Like, he started this one in 1617. He had to change the whole thing when gunpowder got invented.
well, I don't know. It depends, like, what dimension you're talking about. I mean, he might be mortal in this dimension, but, like, in his other, like, parallel dimensions, maybe he's not.
Forever immortal.
Well, I know that as somebody who has experienced the Dark Tower, it's always up to the reader and how they recept it. It's a different experience for everybody.
For sure, you know, I mean, parallel dimensions, yada, 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 it all is like a very subjective experience, you know, to where you realize, like, you know, you're basing your own imagination off this fantasy that somebody else created.
Yeah. Everything's 19, by the way.
Everything.
Everything is 19.
Jesus. I'd rather that than 20 at this rate. Can we roll back to everything being 19? It turns out that was not that bad.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like the year 1919, let's think about this. We had like World War I going on. We had like a plague going on as well.
Flapper chicks. Just
No,
flapping around.
that was
Oh, that was after.
a different decade, but I like where you're
Yeah.
going with that.
Yeah. Pre-flapper chicks. What was that? That's pre-depression even. No, that's height of the depression. Right? 1919? Is that what we're going for? What are we looking at
the
here?
Depression started in 1920s, you know, which got like the Roaring 20s, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, so the joke nowadays is it's 2020, and we just went straight to depression and stopped the roaring part.
Yeah, no roar. It was a very shitty roar.
I heard some howling.
yeah, there was a lot of. It was the howling 20s that we're jumping into, and I'm sad that didn't keep on. I feel like the howling is a trend that we could have just kept up with.
Well, I don't know. We're at 45 minutes away from howling if we want to.
Yeah, but now if you howl, you're just an asshole. Like,
I've
who's
always been
been
an
day
asshole.
drinking like it's the fucking COVID lockdown?
Me,
Me. Yeah.
Speaking of like the lockdown, like, and also, damn, Jonzo, you made it out of the industry. You made your exodus like from slaving away in restaurants. What's life like outside the kitchens?
amazing. The problem is you still want the hurt, and you still want to go back in, and you still want to get yelled at in French. Like it,
Oui, chef.
So yes, it's life away from kitchens is very different. But it, you know, as we all know, the things that we learned about working in the industry is like you have immense respect for the people that are still doing it, and because that's you end up going to restaurants, and you end up going to coffee shops, or you end up doing, you know, requesting services from people in the service industry, and so you have an immense respect for them, And
Yeah, brothers in the trenches, basically.
yeah.
You know their battle. You've seen the bloodshed.
So even if you can't get them to recognize that you know what they're doing, it's still sometimes it's fun when somebody recognizes, like, oh, you know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that camaraderie, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You've seen the shit. I feel like that's the same thing that happens with Vietnam vets. I don't know. I've only met Vietnam vets, so as far as real vets go, but like I feel like you see that same thing when two like old Vietnam vets meet each other, and it's like, you've seen the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You know,
All I need to know is that you've seen the shit, and already I respect you, kid.
so we're saying like there's kitchen vets. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
line dog vets. You know,
Yeah.
post-traumatic stress disorder is a real thing.
Yeah. I mean, we can lose extremities too, but
And we can
our
cauterize them.
extremities are smaller. Is the difference? You know?
Yeah, and we cauterize them and keep on going about our daily fucking grind. You know.
Now, I mean, if I do see the difference though, is like I feel for those guys because if cooking, like if in the middle of prep, I could accidentally lose an arm. Like walking around the kitchen holding my arm. I don't know what just happened.
Well, that's
The
why you got
fucking
2 arms.
ringing
Get back to
sound
work.
that you get in war movies. Like, yeah. Maybe they do have it a little harder than us.
Behind.
Behind arm.
Claymore.
Did you hear what happened to Dusty? He tried to put a plate in the window and someone claymored him.
Good lord.
The
Ambush
army
by
made it,
happy
though.
hour.
Ambush by happy hour.
No, that's something I wanted to talk about with you guys is the what is it called? The nostalgia for when you get removed and you start moving on and do different things. Because not everybody wants to work in a kitchen, but it eventually happens to most people.
Yeah, one way or the other.
Either that or the front. Most people at some
Yeah.
point will walk their way through
Yeah.
one of those jobs.
And as people who've worked in this industry, we want people to know is like, don't treat us like crap because we're doing the best for you.
yeah.
So what is it about the nostalgia of getting hated on and treated like crap that brings us always back?
Well, I would say like, there's a sense of like a masochism, a sense of like sadism, you know, something like that, you know, that you have to kind of like abandon all hope, ye who enter here, you know, to quote Dante, I guess, you know, but there's, I don't know, 3 things that you could really enjoy intimately with a stranger. The third most is cooking for a stranger, you know, when they like take your food and put it in their mouth.
Yeah.
And you get like a voyeur style, watch them eat this and like see their expression on their face. That's golden.
I mean, that's what I did. I enjoyed, taking care of people. That's what I was doing it for.
And it's the two sides of the coin too, and it's the thing is, and that's what it always comes back to, is because instantly, you know, the nostalgia for the kitchen is going to be combined with your like memories of the worst part, so you feel like you're nostalgic for the worst part. But the truth is, like, I think the nostalgia isn't for the people hating on you or any of that stuff, or the yelling, getting yelled at or demeaned. It's for the other side of it, the like truly crushing it. There's just some type of feeling when
Yeah.
you come together as a team and you take down immeasurable odds. You're just like, you start the day and you're like, we're fucked. There's no way we're going to get through this. And someone, you know, looks over and that's the first yelling, like, hey, we're going to fucking get through this.
Yeah, like, the battle for Iwo Jima,
Yeah.
basically, you know.
Go slam a Red Bull and smoke a cigarette because you're not going to see the light of day for the next fucking 8 hours. And
Get used to fluorescence.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, but the other side is, you know, that's what you're nostalgic for. But when you think about it, you instantly come back to the other side of, you know, the people shitting on you. The baby killer part, basically, of the Vietnam vet reference.
Oh,
You don't
jeez.
come back to the part where Willem Dafoe's blowing you a hit through a shotgun. You come back to the part where you're coming home and someone's yelling baby killer at you.
Why don't you do the dishes? Because I've been doing them all day.
Been doing the goddamn dishes all day. Dishes don't stop.
Yeah. You clean the dishes, you put food on them, you take the dish back, you re-clean, you put more food on.
Yep. The cycle of life.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a good point. Like, enjoying the crush and the ability to conquer something that seems like it's just a giant wall.
Yeah, surmount odds that are
yeah.
definitely against you.
I think that's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of people may or may not be able to make that task happen. But
Yeah. Well,
It's a lot for a lot of people. I'd say the best way, and I could give two quick ways for people who do not understand the concept. And I think this both of these movies will work. So you take either large scale kitchen. Say it's a large scale kitchen. You want to see what that's like. You watch either the fucking Mel Gibson flick where they go to Vietnam. I think We Were Soldiers. Or Tears from the Sun with Bruce Willis. You watch one of those, and it's like, that's what it's like to be in a large-scale kitchen. Just imagine, instead of every person that they kill, they're putting on a plate of food. And everyone who gets killed, they're just walking off their shift. They're not actually dead, but they're pretty much dead to you because it's Friday night. They're just gone. They're out. They just said an 8-top? I can't take another fucking 8-top. No, Jim, no. He's gone. Yeah.
well, I might like a double back and rewatch Mad Max. You know,
Well, and
speaking of Mel Gibson, you know,
see, that's the difference. Is you break down the smaller the kitchen goes, you switch movies. So like a small scale kitchen, like Ska, or like The Leaky Roof, like you're no longer looking at either of those movies. They're not relevant. Just like anything you do in like a Steamworks size environment is completely different than a Ska, or like anything you do in a fucking giant kitchen is different than any small kitchen. And then so you got to look to small movies. So you're looking at more like The Predator, or small squad based movies, Expendables, something like that, where it's like there were 7 of them versus 300 and they slayed it. Like that's more the, except for again, replace the Predator with food.
One of my favorite memories of Dusty is after a night of getting slaughtered at Ska was when we would like listen to somebody placing a new order like about 5 minutes before close, and Dusty turning around and going, do it now.
Yeah. Come on, you son of a bitch, do it. Yeah.
run to the printer.
Yeah. But yeah, it's that, and that's at least the vibe that I've gotten from all of my years. When you really break it down, if you want to see that, like, the mental feeling the line cooks getting when they're in the fucking trenches of whatever place.
So I guess at my current place, I'm in World War Z, maybe.
Yeah.
Small, quaint little restaurant that I work in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
No, see, you're back. You're straight up in the middle of We Were Soldiers. Yeah.
Man, with 2 AKs,
Yeah.
each hand.
Yeah. And that movie, for your situation, fits the best. Because if you watch that movie, right, there are several good points where, like, you got Mel Gibson being a badass, and you have all these other individual squad leaders. But there are various times where someone's like, we're going to have to do this. Are you with me, dude? And he's like, I'm an 18-year-old boy from Milwaukee. I ain't never seen war, sir. Like, get your ass together, boy. It's time to go.
God, it'd be so nice to like, just go back to like an Apocalypse Now style scenario.
Yeah.
Like people on like a patrol boat, like, who's your CO? I thought you were it,
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
That's the leaky roof. Apocalypse
Yeah.
Now it's the leaky roof.
Definitely.
Yeah. Who's your CO? I don't know. I think it's that guy over there. Dun, 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 dun. Joint hanging out the mouth.
I love the smell of bacon in the
Love
morning.
the smell of bacon in the morning. Oh, shit.
Yeah, one of my favorite memories of you, Jonzo, is like when you switched from working at Mickey D's to like the Palace. So those who don't know, like the Palace is a very fine dining restaurant. It's on its way out, unfortunately. However, when you applied from like a Mickey D's to the Palace, they asked you like, well, what makes you qualified? And you said, well, I know how to clean and sanitize.
Yes, so very much so. The chef Adam, he simply asked me, he's like, why are you qualified to work here? Why are you going to work at the Palace? And I said, I know about sanitation better than anybody that you're going to hire because of, McDonald's. But so I enjoyed my tenure there, which was 6 years. And
It's a long time.
And I outlasted Chef Adam. So,
Yep. I don't know, like in kitchen years, it's like dog years. When you say 6 years, like you're actually talking about 42 years.
Yeah, time moves crazy different in the kitchen. This year
But-
is
so I don't want to dog on the Palace. That place broke me down so hard and made me learn about everything that is desirable in a line cook and a chef. I know more about food because of that place than any other single experience in any restaurant that I've ever worked at.
And
So
that's a commendation, that's saying props,
and it's good for the Palace, but it was good for Paul Gelos anyway. But just working there, I'm not trying to like bump a restaurant. I'm just saying it's like the way that we cooked food there taught me stuff. It's not about trying to
making that transition and also too, and that is the thing with there can be, and there's been a lot of restaurants that I can think of where it's like overall, or at least a few in my career where overall it did not end well, but the experiences that I gained over that period of time are just,
Yeah, you made your bones, you cut your teeth, what I mean?
Exactly. Like, it may have ended bad, and I may have this and this and this and this to say, and this fucking guy over here, he was doing this. But at the end of the day, it's like, I learned so much. And, I went from this point in my career to this point,
Yeah, regardless of the finish, you came out on top,
Yeah.
And like that's a huge thing. Like you always have to pick up like a little nuggets of information, like a little techniques or like a different way of looking at things. Like no matter where you go, where you're at, Like, well, I'll be damned. I never thought like I could do this like that, but that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
And there's always something to be learned.
Well, good point. I think that's really awesome that you brought that up. That's something I don't think about a lot. It's a story I told you a long time ago. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like,
I think more people need to hear something like that.
Yeah.
An idiot can tell the sky is blue. It doesn't make him wrong. You just never. Why would we do this to ourselves? Exact same reasons why we work in the kitchen.
Get funky. Holy shit, we are back.
Hooray!
All right. Shout out to Sean at Hot Ones.
Hot ones, first we feast.
Wow.
These fucking guys got a little bit of that last dab running through them right now.
I know.
A little spicy in the mouth over on that side of the table.
Yes. We do.
Fantastic. I loved it.
It's tasty. You know, that's the thing I like about it. It's tasty. But then all of a sudden, like all good drugs do, like my tongue is numb.
Yeah, the tongue hurts.
Side note, also, Hot Ones people. If you want any of us on your podcast or show, it's definitely going to be Jeff. So, going to go ahead and say we don't want to kill me on live TV.
I'll take that bullet, Dusty.
Yeah. You're gonna go eat those hot wings, not
That's
us.
fine. Only for breakfast, though.
Yeah. We can do the fucking Jay and Silent Bob situation. We'll show up and you can eat the hot wings and I'll answer the questions.
You know, that would probably work out pretty swell, actually. While I'm like sweating there and like probably shitting myself on live TV, you could be the smart one of us. Or at least the witty one.
The witty one? Yeah. I don't see why this is such a big deal. Just drinking a glass of milk over there. This is totally chill.
Frantically, I'm like trying to put like rolls of toilet paper in the freezer.
Yeah. That's how you know it's been a rough day, when you find a roll of toilet paper in the freezer.
Yeah, it's better than the microwave.
So anyway, I would like.
Can you talk now?
I would like to talk to you guys about the fact that because of the current pandemic that's going on, how have you felt, or how have you adjusted your life with the inability to work?
Well, I never have an inability to work. I just pick and choose my directions, you know? And so, I mean, I did not have a particular like a clock-in job to do. However, I put in work, you know? I put in work like...
Well, you're a chef, so...
It's like a matter like focusing my attention like in different directions, you know? Well, I guess if physically I can't cook food, I might as well like write or paint a fence or like do something. Come on.
You got to keep going. I mean, honestly, I can really relate to that and not relate to it at all. That question.
You never had time off.
Because I didn't have any time off. The whole time. I worked through the whole crisis situation. Even when it was the eerie, like, you feel like you're in the Stand movie.
Yeah.
And it's like you show up and there's only 3 other people in the whole building and you're like, where did all of our friends go? Fuck.
There's a bomb.
In the closet. In the closet. Said the deaf guy. He'll have a good acting career. Don't worry about it. He can die early.
My life for you.
Yeah. Oh, God. But yeah. But oddly, I've had a situation lately with my my back. My old back injury from back in the day when I fought Bane in the sewer. And that's been flaring up a lot lately. So I've literally had situations where Saturday was a good example. I had to call in crippled pretty much Saturday. And that was a first for me because normally I can at least make it into the door and look like shit. But I got to a point where, Kim called it for me. She saw me and she was just like, you don't belong in a kitchen. And I was like, I can do this. And then 10 minutes later, I'm trying to make myself a fucking microwave pizza. And I'm all shaky and collapsed up against the fucking washer. Maybe it's good I'm not making 100 of these.
Somebody get this guy a straitjacket.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's kind of exactly like Jeff said. And I felt like shit yesterday because I slept fucking 20 hours out of the day pretty much. But
underachiever.
Yeah, I definitely have that situation where it's starting to feel like I can't always work in the kitchen. So instead of not working at all, give me a pencil and some paper, or give me anything at this point. I'll fucking do something with it.
Please don't give him a microphone.
Yeah, give me a microphone. Give me a camera. Give me a beat.
So what I guess I was trying to go for was if you were totally like destitute because you worked in kitchens and all you had was $1,200 every 2 weeks, how would this world change you? How would you survive?
Wait, only $1,200 every 2 weeks? That's $600 per week. Only? Fuck, that right there is like my rent times 4, in 2 weeks. So I guess like the thing would be not to be a victim of my own devices, Keep in mind that I should do stuff outside, although I hate the sunlight. Keep on writing and not just like go into like a downward spiral, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, be productive outside of work.
Yeah.
But what I guess what I'm asking is, when we get fucked because of a pandemic and we don't get to go to work.
It sounds a lot like the Renaissance after the Black Plague.
Yeah. Yeah. And and that's the thing too, is writing, that's our fallback, because it's it's creative, but it's also probably the least setup and breakdown of any creative project we can do is writing. It's just literally putting your soul on paper. But for some people, that's not the thing. And like, if cooking, like a good example is like, if cooking is truly that thing, then for you, and you're caught in that scenario where you can't do it anymore, then what I would suggest is refine your art on your own. You
Find your thing.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need someone cracking the whip over you to make the same menu items. And I would suggest even more, especially like if for anyone who say you've been in the industry for 3 or 4 years and you found that is your love, that's your passion, but you've only worked at one place, then fucking take your unemployment money, use it sparingly, but go out and come up with some dishes on your own, or look up other dishes and try to combine shit from different dishes, and then make that at home. Make it for yourself, and then you get to enjoy also the joy of being a customer, which is, something a lot of us hardly ever get to do, especially when shit's open and, we're going like they're especially back in the day working at nicer, I guess, more upscale places. It's like, there are months where it's just like, I am cooking all the sexiest of food, and every night I'm eating like a sandwich or some Taco Bell. Yeah.
Well, also like it's the age of information, all right. Like during like my little vacation that I had, there's free online courses like for Harvard and Yale, and I tapped in like the Harvard one about like food science, So I learned a lot more like about like a fermentation processes, or process, I guess, And
I remember you talking about that when we first started meeting each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's the age of information.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too, is say writing is out, and cooking is out, and neither of those are your thing, and you don't know what your thing is, so you're just upset about that. Then read. Take that first step. Just start looking up shit. Think of shit that comes to your mind and be like, I'm gonna look this up and see what's in this. And fucking, how do you make rockets? I'm gonna look this up and see what's into this. And maybe you will find something and you'll come across and be like, guys, I didn't fucking know this at all, but I love philosophy, so I'm fucking doing this. Or I didn't know
2
this
weeks
at
later,
all,
you're
but
an amateur
fucking
astrophysicist.
exactly, yeah. Trigonometry, some shit like that. You don't know what. If you don't know what you like, I'm sure it's because you like something you just haven't tried yet. It's not because there's nothing that you like.
I was just trying to talk about something that when you don't have multiple years of experience behind you, and you don't have like the ability to know what to do with like basic ingredients. How you will operate and get employed or hired or even like make a simple steak dinner, you know.
Well, I would say you set yourself a goal. You know, if your goal is to be hired by somewhere, you know, look at what they're doing, try to understand like what you know, conceptualize what you think they are doing, you know, understand that and go for it. You know, I mean, there's no excuse for lackadaisiness in my world. You know, I mean, at all.
Of course not.
Yeah. I mean, you pick a goal, go after it. If you realize it's not your goal, pick a different goal. You know,
figure out what that goal is. You know, and that's what I was saying with the read. Like, if you don't, and that's an easy thing. At least I've kind of found for me personally. Like, I could look up 5 different things right now, and read for about 5 minutes on any of them, and tell you which ones that I have nothing, and which ones I'm like, oh, you know. Like, oh, mythology. Like, okay. No, I could do that. Oh, okay. But yeah, no, that fucking, no, I can't do that. Yeah.
No, you mentioned in the past when me and Morgan were talking about like designing internet and websites and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you were just like, I know everything about cooking. I don't know anything about designing websites. I will stick with cooking. And that's a good point.
Yeah. And that's a funny
I'm sorry, remember weird
no,
stuff.
No, that's actually a good pull too, because that's a funny scenario of like the thing I said, and that being from such a long time ago. Like, that's before the great Dusty revelation of like, no, like you truly like you can do other shit. Like you can be into all kinds of other shit. Why only have your iron in that one cooking fire? You know, you're not stuck with just that in life just because you've done that and you're good at that.
Yeah, as I said back in the day, you can't just brush one tooth. You got to brush all your teeth. You know,
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, I never really trusted other line cooks that did not have like other fingers in musical endeavors or philosophy or art. You know, and you've got to like brush all your goddamn teeth, you know?
No, yeah, I mean, if somebody's like, oh, I just make sushi, well, I don't want to work with you.
Lame.
Yeah. That's all you do and that's your entire life, then yeah, it's going to get boring real quick. Like,
yeah, I'm definitely not going to throw darts or shoot pool with you, you know?
Yeah. Oh, this reminds me of the time I was making sushi.
That's another thing to think about. Is
guy.
like, as somebody who exhibits the ability to create all the foods and be very good at it, you should probably be able to good at all the alcohols or all the sports and all the
sommelier. Like you should relate like sports with customers, you know. Yeah. Have that personal relationship, you know, put on like a happy face, smile, ask them how they're doing, and respond to it like a psychotherapist, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like you just get screamed at and yelled at for being who you are, but maybe you could tell that person, nice hat. I don't like the AKs, but I'm a Red Sox fan, so...
But, you know, I feel like that's the restaurant industry as a whole. That's the fault of what it's become. And because, think about this, you know, and like we all think about the different aspects of like, you know, new kids and how they act compared to our generation and the previous generations. But like if you truly think about it, and this is pretty much like any restaurant, say it's 1973. I'm just giving out a number, 1973. And someone walks into a restaurant. And they're like, hey, you're a total piece of shit, or any of the things they say now, like, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want to do.
That what they would say in 73.
Best case scenario, someone's just escorting him out the front door. Like, worst case scenario, like, that guy is literally getting the shit kicked out of him, and he's getting tossed out into the back alley. And you know what?
You get the shit kicked out of him some more.
Yeah. They might say, like, oh, well, it's aggressive, and
Yeah,
it's
there's
not
going to be cooks
customer
out there,
friendly.
like, smoking, being like,
Yeah.
oh, where the fuck did you come from?
But you know who appreciates all that? All the other customers in that restaurant who didn't have to deal with that asshole.
Yeah.
All the employees in that restaurant that didn't have to deal with that asshole. And then, you know, people come in and, like, I seriously think that's one of the biggest problems with the restaurant industry right now is people don't walk in there with the fear that if they do something wrong, they're going to get punched in the mouth and told to leave. And I feel like that should be a genuine fear. Like, nope, Timmy, be on your best behavior. Otherwise, I might get punched in the mouth and we might all get kicked out of this place.
Yeah, I'm referring to it like as the M word. You know, like these millennials. You know, I'll just call it like the M word. Sometimes I say like you might like want to pull up your pants a little bit because like your millennial is showing. You know, like entitled, privileged. You know, whatever like they feel. The fact that they feel anything but like pain, shame, regret, anxiety is offensive to me. You know, so. Yeah. Pull up your pants a little bit, your fucking millennial is showing. Grab your sack and twist it and, like, go to work, all right?
Grab your sack and twist it and go to work.
Yeah, grab it.
Grab it, yeah.
I had an experience when I was working at Home Depot. I have been experiencing customer service for a very long time. But this day, this woman, they called Home Depot, and she wanted to talk to lumber and building materials. The way that she treated me, like, I don't want to be like a bitch, but I'm telling you, she destroyed me. I was like crying. And I wanted to hang up the phone like multiple times. But I know it sounds stupid because it's just the experience I had with this one person. And I ended up hanging up the phone and been like, yeah, like you don't know anything about inches or foots or whatever. But it really like fucked me up. Like I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Somebody who's been in customer experience for so long, like I'm sorry that I'm telling this to you guys, like, because you know, like we get treated like shit.
Mm-hmm.
But this one experience really fucked me up.
It sounds like you got violated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's the people do that. And there's some that just like that's their goal, and they come in and it's, you know, it's fucking. They're the predator. And it turns out sometimes you're not actually ready to be Arnold in that Predator movie, or as your business states, like, you know, I'm not allowed, so this lady's just coming at me with weapons I can't even understand. Like, fucking,
I bet your first
that
name
hurt
is Karen.
my soul. Yeah. But, you know, and that goes back to it, like, you know, back in the old days, and it's customer service needs to take a step back to the way it used to be, because back in the day you call up lumber, you know, you call up for it, you get some guy named Jim, and it'd be like, now you listen here. No, you listen the fuck here right now. You're coming at me all the wrong way, lady. It's 9:30. I ain't had my fucking coffee. I got 2 goddamn kids at home. I get this nagging enough already, so shut your fucking mouth. And you call me back when you're ready to talk like an adult. Click.
That's damn right, Dusty.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And next time she called back, I guarantee she'd have a different tone.
Yeah, if we like dial it back like times like when that was acceptable.
Yeah.
Instead it's like well, on TripAdvisor or Yelp or whatever, I'm saying like this guy's a total piece of shit, you know?
Yeah.
Well, my favorite thing is like they were like, well, I'll just go to Lowe's. I'm like, great.
Adios.
Go to fucking Lowe's. I don't give a fuck.
I'll give you directions.
Do you think I'm like the Home Depot guy? Like I'm so in it to win it. I'm like,
they would get so angry. It's like
we lost a customer to
they would
Lowe's,
ask me
babe.
questions like, Dusty, like you're in construction, okay? I don't know shit about roofing,
Yeah.
but I sell roofing materials as my job at Home Depot, and I would tell every customer, I was like, I really don't know anything about roofing. I'm sorry. This is what we sell, like, and they were just like,
This is the aisle.
and it was my aisle,
It's my fucking aisle.
and
Clean up on aisle what? My aisle.
and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about roofing. I've never done it. I do know like a little bit about shingles, but not a lot. And
I don't know much about roofing or shingles,
And
though.
they-
I have had shingles once and been roofied twice, but I feel like those are unrelated to what
Dusty.
you're doing.
But anyway, I would just be like, yeah. And they'd be like, why are you qualified to work here? And I was like, I'm not qualified to work here. If I was a roofer, I would be roofing.
I wouldn't be working at a Home Depot. Do you think when they hire people for every aisle, there's like this Bill, he's been a veteran plumber for 50 years. But you know what? Instead of making that $50 an hour that he was managing his job site, he decided to come here for $7 and lunch.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna sell
But-
you like a corner piece of PVC, 1.5 inch.
Just like he sold us his soul.
But the one thing I do know how to do is finish cement. And do you know why I know how to do that? It's because Dusty Collins taught me how.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. Cement, man, that was my life for a while. I thought that, and that's the thing too. That's kind of the realization I came to with, you can do anything, was thinking about cooking and all the years I've been doing it. It's a lot of fucking years. And then I thought, I'm like, I was doing cement and fucking concrete and construction for years before that. And I thought that was going to be my life. I flash all the way back to like fucking 16-year-old Dusty. It's like, I was doing landscaping, like thinking about getting my own business once I turned 18 and that was legal. And I thought that was going to be my life. Like, maybe I shouldn't be in charge of knowing what my life is going to be. Maybe I should let my life do that.
But instead, we're in charge of what you eat.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like, realize your objectives, lay some focus down on them. If that don't work out, change your objectives, and don't lose track. I mean, whatever you want to do, you can do.
Yeah. And let's open a 70s themed restaurant where we will literally tell you to get the fuck out if you're being stupid.
Well, a long time ago, Dusty told me that he knew what he knew. And it
Not more than that.
It was cooking.
Mhm.
It wasn't computers.
It wasn't computers.
And it wasn't construction.
No.
But
No,
he-
that's true. I do know cooking. And I don't know dick about coding, even though that has come up again. That has come up like since that came up with you, that's probably come up like 4 or 5 times, and I keep pointing out that like I'm not gonna get into coding. I feel like that's too much.
I mean, I started like when the TI-81s came out. Like I was making like little fucking stupid computer games on the TI-81.
83 plus.
Yeah. Easy. And also like the basic like fucking computer language. I guess basic, not too hard either.
Yeah, you're a basic bitch.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, even Dusty could program in BASIC.
I could probably do that for sure. And I've had someone talk to me about it before, and I came back to it is with the other angle, because I feel like if I found a coder that could code a video game, I could do way better for them instead of coding, if I could actually just like write and lay out the game and do dialogue and all that other shit. Like all that other shit a coder is not gonna want to do. Like I don't want to get on the mics. Like I will be that hero. I'll also be the bad guy.
Well, can I ask all the professional chefs in the room to give me a joke?
I think that's your punchline right there.
Okay, so a joke. Fuck.
Come on, Dusty.
I know,
You're failing me right now.
I don't want to fall back on any of the other old ones. Like we
Oh.
could talk about chickpeas. We could talk about fucking
Herpes.
herpes. We could talk about fucking chestnuts, chin nuts,
Chin nuts. I mean,
Is there like
come on.
such thing as like his peas?
his peas. Yeah, his peas are how you got the herpes.
Oh, jeez.
The man with all the jokes cannot come up with a single joke for his
A
podcast.
single podcast.
That's fine. I don't like humor. I mean, it's just annoying. It gets in my ears, you know. Distracts me from what I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
There's no need to laugh ever again.
yeah. What's the difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea?
I don't have to pay for a garbanzo bean on my face.
No, you disgusting motherfucker. They're actually pretty much identical. Both have been used to make hummus for years.
You
Going
get, like,
back
a
all the
number
way to
10
the
cans,
Middle
you know?
Ages. Yeah, typically, you know, they come in.
Just
some
tell
type
me I
of
got it
liquid.
right.
What kind of podcast do you think this is? Now
I
we're
taught
going
you
to do
that
an
joke.
hour.
I taught you that joke a
Nope,
long time
nope,
ago.
I think it was him.
No. Well,
I
I
think
gave
it
it to
was
him.
yeah.
Then he might have given it to you.
No, that's
No.
herpes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey,
now we're
what
back
about-
on
what
the
about my
herpes.
piece?
Boom, boom. That's the joke. It was a long setup, folks, but we got back around to it.
Hopefully somebody laughs.
Herpes is always the punchline unless you have it.
Well, gents, I don't see any reason why. It's like come up with another joke. It's been great, to chat with y'all. You know.
Yeah. Great having you, Jonzo.
Yeah, John.
Thank you. Thank you for having me coming by. Like this has been really truly amazing. It's been hard being in quarantine, but
You should go back.
yeah, I should go back to the mountain.
I think we should all stay in quarantine. It just builds the character.
But no, this has been great. Are we done? Are we done here?
I mean, we're
I mean,
pretty much, yeah.
Well, let's cheers
Yeah,
it all, guys.
Let's cheers it all. Hopefully, we'll have you back as a guest sometime.
Yeah,
You know,
always welcome. Prost.
Bro,
And it's still Jeff
just Dusty.
and our guest Jonzo.
this is Jonzo.
This is Jonzo.
Cheers, y'all. Nice.
Woo!